TV, television gangonde ten. Golle Fulbe TV, la take golle modude. Yogiten Fulbe TV, television gangonde ten. Sayumen Fulbe TV, wari kam am tawal demen. Fulbe TV wari to men. Fulbe TV tikka mangam hanga hauta hore men.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the High Table, my name is Samani Mbaka and I work with Peace Ambassador of the Gambia as Programs Assistant. Today's conference will be more of about who Peace Ambassadors is, what have we done, because we will be celebrating our 25 years of existence by May 17, inshallah. With me here we have the National Vice President, Alpha Biba, and the chairperson for the 25 year celebration, So before we start anything, I would like us to pray in our own individual ways, and then from there, the chair can proceed with the speech, please. Amen and amen. So, Mr. Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kasamandi. I want to use the opportunity to welcome all of you to this very important occasion. 25 years ago, this organization called Peace Ambassadors the Gambia was born. And to reflect on what we have done in the past 25 years, we thought of reflecting on the work that we have done and share this with the general public, but also to see how do we work together to create peace, not only to create it, but also to maintain peace in our societies. We are pleased to welcome all of you to this press conference as we provide an update on the upcoming 25 years anniversary of this very important organization. Some of you may be interested to know that Peace Ambassadors the Gambia was established on May 17, 2001, as a youth-led, non-partisan, and volunteer-driven organization to promoting peace, democracy, and civic participation in the Gambia. Since its inception 25 years ago, Peace Ambassadors have become a household name in peace building and democratic process in the Gambia, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and particularly through our peace development and peace building program, conflict resolution, election observation, civic education, and youth empowerment initiatives. Through its work and diverse memberships, PAC has contributed to enhancing the political, religious, and cultural tolerance and harmony and socio-economic empowerment in the countries where it operates. Reflecting on the 25 years work that we have done as an organization, we are a membership-driven organization. We try as much as possible to not only welcome members into the organization, but also build their capacity, prepare them to become peace advocates. We have this belief that before we can send you into a battlefield, we need to prepare you. And that is what made us a different organization when it was established. I was privileged as chair today of this organizing committee, but I was privileged to serve as president of the organization when it was at these early days. So we prioritize capacity building so that the organization will have the strong human resource to be able to accelerate our agenda, to realize what we want to get as an organization. Our membership recruitment program is designed for recruiting new members to the organization. It is conducted in a form of a recruitment camp where new members are trained on the skills that they need in order to be able to do their functions as peace educators and advocates. And during these recruitment camps, young people are taken through different topics that will prepare them in the areas of peace and conflict, building, public speaking and presentation skills, confidence building, stress management, mediation and conflict resolution, understanding gender and gender perspectives in peace building, and the role of stakeholders, because we know we can't do it alone. So we take our members through all this so that they are equipped enough to be able to push our agenda as peace advocates. In a span of 25 years of our operation, the organization has successfully recruited and graduated over 1,500 members across the country. We also launched a program called Kanda. This is a program where the organization targets to train leaders and influential people in society, such as chiefs, members of parliament, securities, and other members of the society that we will all listen to. They are mostly trained on mediation and conflict resolution skills. This program is initiated based on the realization that our traditional mechanisms of solving conflict using dialogue is fading out and being replaced by taking each other to the police or having numerous court cases in our societies. Cognizant of the fact that if such things continue, we are going to lose a great deal of our value and love for one another, thereby making the society unsafe for the young people. So the Kanda program is directed to build the capacity of our opinion, religious and political leaders, so that they are using their platforms to promote peace instead of using the police or other means. Since the inception of Kanda training, PAC trained over 200 people as mediators, including chiefs and all other members that I've explained, like members of parliament, community leaders, VDC leaders, women couples, youth groups at the community level, and all those influential people. We were able to reach 200 leaders in this initiative. Our National Youth Leadership Training. This is aimed at helping youth leaders of various youth organizations in the Gambia to develop their leadership capacities to be able to run their organizations effectively. The idea behind this program is that PAC has realized that a lot of youth organizations exist, but most of them are challenged in terms of leadership skills, in terms of how they will be able to really put their organizations where they're supposed to be. So we took it upon ourselves to see how we can share with other organizations in terms of how they will build their own capacities. Within the same leadership training, we also have incorporated the student leadership, where we train student leaders on leadership skills and qualities. But leadership has to start at the early stages. During these trainings, we talk to young people, especially students, about how they will be able to acquire skills like advocacy, skills like lobbying, problem solving, because every day we go through problem solving. How do we help them to do that. Proposal writing and report writing, fundraising. All organizations or groups in this country or even beyond in the world, we are all looking for resources. So how do we build the capacity of our fellow young people, whether they are out of school or in school, but they are able to have that idea of how to develop winning proposals to help them in realizing their potentials. This initiative has reached more than 500 young people across the country. The other key initiative that we had is the Ambassadors Peer Peace Motivators Clubs that we call APPM. The APPM concept is a school-based program that provides many opportunities for children to improve their relationship with others in a positive and constructive way. In fact, it appears that most parents or adults nowadays are shying away from their responsibilities, one of which is to keep peace between and among their children. So the APPM gives the opportunity to young people to develop and equip themselves with skills that will find useful throughout their lives. It also serves as an opportunity to empower them to be able to present their choices and give them and put them in a way that will give them clear directions as they move in life. The concept is a proactive initiative that heightens the children's sensitivity to school, family and community environments. Instead of attempting to solve problems, it enables them to foresee conflict. Therefore, peace motivators help keep to acquire preventive knowledge and implement this process to attain results. Our cross-border initiatives. This program is what takes the organization across the borders to participate in peace-building activities in countries that are affected by war. In so doing, the organization participated in several peace conferences and festivals, both as organizers but also as invitees. The program started in 2004 with support from Concern Universal. By the way, Concern Universal was the first organization that trusted peace ambassadors. You know, we used to be called Youth Ambassadors of Peace. And Concern Universal was the first organization that saw us and trusted what we are doing, and they were able to give us our first grant of $24,000. And that was around 2002, I think. So they saw this program, that's our cross-border initiative, and then they were able to come in to support us to be able to see how we enhance our cross-border program. The project mainly targets communities that were affected by conflict, and since its inception, our cross-border activities achieved the following. FAC opened a 15-kilometer road in a community called Djibijon. I remember I was there in Djibijon, and we had a football match with people that are classified as rebels. But for us, what was important at that time was to make everybody understand that we are young people and we are agents of change. And we can change using different formats. And at that particular time, we thought organizing football match with young people in Djibijon was going to help us bring all of us together. PAC successfully met the late Father Jamakun Senghor, the former MFDC rebel leader, in 2005 with 250 young people to beg him for the return of peace to Casamance. This was one of our key highlights in 2005. We went to Jamakun Senghor and put to him with a total of about 250 young people. We put to him that without peace, even in that region where all of them are seeking to see development, will not happen. And he listened to us. That was one powerful engagement we were able to register as part of our cross-border engagements. PAC also organized a football tournament in Fonyi, West Coast region. The tournament targets border villages that are having refugees from Casamance. And the purpose of the tournament was to educate the communities about the importance of accommodating those refugees and ensuring a free environment where they feel safe. So we need to understand that when conflict erupts, nobody is safe. Even if you feel that you are safe, but you are not safe. So we created this tournament in West Coast region so that our fellow young people who run away from their communities because they feel unsafe, they will be able to meet their fellow young people in another part of the country, another part of the world, and then we will interact and share ideas. And they felt so comfortable that yes, we run away from a conflict zone, now we see ourselves in an environment where we are welcomed by our own brothers and sisters. That was the spirit. Our international youth summer school, IYSS, this program was launched again in 2004, and like some of you may already know, it is a youth skills development program that seeks to enhance the capacity of young people through learning different skills, but also to promote the culture of collaboration and partnership building. And that's why today IYSS can be held in the Gambia, but also in Senegal and in Guinea-Bissau. In fact, the next IYSS, if my records serve me well, will be in Senegal this year. We created the IYSS mainly to let young people in Africa understand that we are the agents of change. Nobody will come from anywhere to lead those changes for us. Even in countries where there are conflicts today, who are the ones in the front line? They are the young people. The elderly who mostly are sitting at home, the children in most cases are struggling and suffering. It is the young people who are holding guns, going out there and killing each other. So we thought that IYSS should be an initiative that should help us reach out to every young people in Africa. And that's why at the beginning the theme was in search of peace for Africa. How do we make sure our continent as Africa is safe from all kinds of conflicts? And when you talk about conflict, it's not only the absence of war. There are a lot of other issues that everybody is faced with. Our children are being raped. Our children are being subjected to cause all kinds of situations. Our young people are dying through this bad way. Our women are suffering. Our elders are suffering in Africa. How do we get this out? That is our theme, in search of peace for Africa. So that Africa will become an example of peace in the whole world. We also embark on election observation. As we know, this year, Gambia, we are going to witness our presidential elections in December. Over the years, we believe that election is one means through which violence can easily erupt in countries. So we work with partners to see how do we provide education for our young people to understand that elections are significant components of our democratization processes. And they are not meant to create violence. They are meant for us to demonstrate our rights as citizens, to choose our leaders, and then go back to see how do we work with those leaders to bring the changes that we want in this country. So we are part of the Election Watch Committee. Myself, last presidential elections, I was one of the observers covering part of West Coast region. But also, it's not only to observe, but also prepare the minds of our young people, so that when they are going to the polling stations, when they are going on their campaign, when they are following their political leaders, they do it responsibly. Let us debate on issues. Let us discuss about the agenda of those political parties. Let us disagree on issues, on policies. And then I choose to vote for party A because I'm aligned with their policies and programs. And you are voting for party B because you are aligned with their policies and programs. And at the end of the day, we can only get one leader. When that leader emerges, we all come together and see how we can work with that leader, at least for that period that he or she will serve as our leader. That is what we send out as a message. But why will we create violence? So that is what one of our work also is entailed. So generally, I just gave you, in just because of time, gave you some of the key highlights of the activities that we have been doing as an organization over the years. But then, now that we are 25 years, what are we going to do to celebrate, to remember this important journey? So we identified a series of activities to be able to do this year as part of our. So our founding day is May 17th, but we want to paint the whole 2026 with our color blue. We want everybody in this country to feel us in this year. We want to shake every sector so that people understand that youth ambassadors of peace, then now ambassadors, peace ambassadors, is here to promote peace. And it is only through peace that we can achieve our individual and our collective dreams. Look at those countries where there is conflict. Who is thinking of organizing naming ceremonies? Go there and tell them, I'm going to organize naming ceremony. People will think you are like this because the environment is not that conducive for those kind of engagements. That is why we want to use 2026 to let everybody in this country and in Africa understand that peace is the only way to go. Without peace, we can only talk about things, but we will never get to where we want to go. In fact, we are here on this press conference because we feel we are having some kind of a peaceful environment. Otherwise, in some countries, I was watching news and I saw that, we all know where this conflict is right now concentrated, all right? And in one of the countries, they wanted to organize press conference, and I think they got a signal that the missile is coming, and then they had to disperse. But here we are. So there's nothing like peace, my brothers and sisters. So our planned activities, just to run them through quickly, and we will allow you also to ask questions if you have any. Today, this press conference, even though we were doing some work behind the scene over the past months, but this press conference officially kick off our campaign as part of our 2025, our 25 years of celebrations. So we are working with you people, the media, because you are the voices, the eyes of citizens in the world. Without the media, forget about every other thing. So that's why we said, if we are going to start with anything, we will start with the media. That's why we are here on this press conference. And we will work with you throughout this journey. Yes, we are here, it is only a few of us here, but through your medium, through your platforms, we hope that these messages are going to reach out to other stakeholders across the globe. We are going to launch again a massive and deliberate media campaign throughout this year, where we will come to all of you in one way or the other, and even those that are not here. We want every platform that sends message out to be reached this year through ambassadors, so that they will use their platform to promote peace. We have a whole media team that is putting together a strategy as to how we are going to reach out to all the media houses, and they will be our entry point to reach out to where we may not be able to reach through our direct activity. We will also be organizing intergenerational dialogue across the country. We have selected communities where we will be having intergenerational dialogue between young people and adults, so that we can discuss about how do we coexist peacefully between the different generations. We will be organizing peace caravans across the country, so be on the watch. Our zones will be very busy across the country and beyond. We will be having peace caravans where we will be sending messages of peace across the whole country. They will be happening at different times in different locations, but all over the country, and also outside the country. We will also, as part of our engagements, carry out some community outreach services, one of which will be cleaning exercises. I mentioned here, peace is not only the absence of conflict. Sometimes you go into our environments, you see how certain things are there, waste management and all those stuff. We want to contribute to society by organizing cleaning exercises, and then work with communities to understand that living in peace also means living in a clean environment. We will also be participating in tree planting activities across the country. We all know the threat that we have faced due to climate change. We all know how deforestation is affecting our country. So we, as we celebrate these 25 years of existence, want to see how do we contribute in bringing back that forest that we used to celebrate as a country, but also contributing to how do we reduce the emission of carbon CO2. And then overall, how do we as an organization contribute to the whole climate change programming? Now it is called environmental sustainability. How do we all contribute to making sure that our environments are getting more and more sustainable? We will also be organizing series of debate competitions across the country. In fact, we want to make it a national debate competition, where topics will be identified which will be focusing on more around peace and peaceful coexistence. We want to identify topics, give to young people, let them research on those topics, and through that research they will come and share with all of us. It will happen at zonal levels, and then we will have a national final competition, and then they will be awarded. So that young people will participate, because if you are given a debate topic, you are expected to do a little bit of research about that. So through that research, you'll be able to learn something yourself. But when you research and you are able to gather something and you are presenting your case in debate, you are also what? Educating others. So that is the spirit. That's what we are putting together. All this, ladies and gentlemen, will be summed up using a major and a groundbreaking national awarding and honoring ceremony. We will have, after all these activities are done, towards the end of this year, we will organize a major national awarding ceremony to reflect, but also to appreciate the support, the partnership, the collaboration we had with key organizations and individuals who worked with us throughout the 25 years of our existence. I remember in the early days of this organization, there were people who sacrificed their individual salaries. I remember the then IGP, Captain Baji, I'm going to mention his name, not because of any other thing, but because of his sacrifice that he made at the early days when we set up this organization. We met him, he said, I am going to commit my salary, $2,000 every month to give to this cause. So I think he's somebody that we really want to remember. We also had people who were students then, who were working with very low salaries, but they were able to sacrifice. I remember some of us were going to university at the time, and the university was giving us stipend. I know some of you may be asking stipend at the university, but we were given stipend on a government scholarship. In the early days of University of the Gambia, about $500, and we were taking part of that money and putting into this organization. So there are individuals who sacrifice a lot. We had someone who used to give us his vehicle when we are running our activities. And that really helped us to move from one location to the other. There are a lot of them out there, organizations, just like Concern Universal, like I mentioned, the National Aid Secretariat then. How do we bring all these people together and appreciate what they have done in bringing peace in our country and even beyond? We have designed all these activities, and they will be obviously deliberately be very inclusive. We're not going to leave anyone behind in the process. We are hopeful that these activities will also be very impactful, very engaging, so that across the country and beyond, everybody and every sector feel part of this 25 years celebration. Finally, I want to, no, not finally, I also want to, through the media, look for or send out this message to our partners to see how best they can support this cause. Like I said earlier, if there is peace in the Gambia, it's not one individual who enjoys that peace. It is the whole country that enjoys. But if one individual starts creating violence in the country, everybody lives in fear. Everybody lives in fear. Because you will think, for example, if that person is sending missiles to different locations, you will think that the next location will be your location. So you will always live in fear. So we want every stakeholder out there, irrespective of which sector you belong, to see how you can work with peace ambassadors in this 2026 to promote and nurture the peace that we are already enjoying, so that we can have a country that will be a sample in the region. Will we have a region that is a sample in the whole world for peace building and maintenance. We will be reaching out to stakeholders. We have already mapped out partners that we will reach out to them. Please, when we come to your offices, when we meet you individually, please try and see how you can support this cause. We don't look down upon anything. Any support, it can be cash or kind. We welcome every kind of support. What we want to see is that goal of ensuring that our country and our continent is at peace at all times. Looking ahead, as we celebrate this Silver Jubilee, PAC remained committed to adapting to the evolving needs of our society. We will continue to invest in young people as agents of peace and change, strengthen democratic processes, and promote social cohesion across the country and beyond. When we set up this organization 25 years ago, there were needs for us to talk about peace. But I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we still have more needs today to talk about peace and peaceful coexistence. That is why we will let you know of our renewed commitment as we exist for 25 years to make sure that we are ready to go with this course and let people know that peace is the way to go. If you are a doctor, you want to operate you want to carry on with your profession, you must be peace. You must have peace first. You must have a peaceful mind to be able to treat patients. If you are a teacher, you have to have a peaceful mind to be able to deliver the teaching courses. If you are a journalist, you must be at peace to be able to go out there and collect your content. If you are any sector, any profession, you must. If you are a business person, if you are a business sector, the GSMs, the reason why some of you are gaining all these resources is because we believe that we are living in a peaceful environment. Right? The banks, the reason why today we have seen how some of the conflicts right now are targeting financial institutions. The reason why some of you are booming today is because of that peaceful environment that we see ourselves in. Our development partners, our donor partners. So we are reaching out to every sector so that together we can all see how we can maintain this peace that we have, but also grow it into other countries. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, PAC at 25 is more than a celebration. It marks 25 years of service. Its significance lies not only in its longevity, but it is in its proven ability to turn civic commitment into measurable change. Peace Ambassadors, the Gambia, represents resilience, partnership, and the enduring power of youth and community-led actions in shaping a peaceful, inclusive, and democratic Gambia. On that note, I want to use the opportunity to thank all of you for creating time to be with us today, and then looking forward to continue our engagement with the media throughout this celebration in 2026. Thank you so much for your kind attention.